Corey. Welcome back to week 3 of F&P. Let's just go straight into it. So this week's key question is, how is the research and development phase important for building the world of the play? So, the best way I could put this is, imagine that you went to a play that hadn't had any research and development, and they just put the show straight on. But they'd had like the rehearsal process. So they'd start rehearsals immediately without any sort of pre-thinking, and just you'd imagine it would be bland, not interesting, have no sort of like important points. It would just be very, very basic. I think that's something that would ruin a lot of the show for people, because it has no sort of like heart or soul into it. And I think that's why the research and development is so important, because the research and the development, if I'm going to keep saying it over and over again, it allows people to figure out how they want to put on the show and how they will interpret different things. So, for instance, let's say there were puppets. Like the main like plot point of the thing was that everything was puppets, and you didn't do any research and development. You just made the puppets. The puppets would seem very lifeless and have no sort of like heart or soul into them. Because I know it's all based on how the puppeteer plays and performs, but you would have, someone interpreted the show as puppets or worms, and the other one interprets it as just regular humans. And there's like random worms and humans, and this is a terrible analogy, but what I'm trying to say is that it needs it, so then it allows for the world to be created, because there will be no world to be created if there wasn't any research and development, because no one would know what the show is set, where, when, why, and it would be a bit of a nightmare. That's the sort of my basic understanding of how much is needed. That was so terrible, and I'm so sorry, but I'm going to keep it in anyway, because it's raw, and it's genuinely how my thought process is for this. And yeah. Work on the soundscapes today with Georgia and Noah, which was good fun. But we did it more as like a big ensemble. We did more work on the singing as well, the Running Up the Road harmonies, because it was important for us to keeping the idea of what the harmonies sound like, so then we don't lose it when showtime comes. And yeah, please forgive my terrible analogy, because that was terrible. On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair. I don't know the words, yeah. Cool, thank you. Bye.